2,000 years ago, power in Europe belonged to the few. In ancient Rome, the patricians controlled the law, the courts, the Senate, and the people had no say. The commoners, the plebeians, could fight and die for Rome, but they could not rule it. It took generations of protests, strikes, and slow negotiation for them to win their own voice. The tribunes of the plebs, ordinary citizens, standing up to the aristocracy. It was the first hint that power could be shared, that the governed could govern. Centuries later, the same question returned. In medieval Europe, kings ruled by divine right. The people were subjects, not citizens. Until one day, in 1215, English barons forced King John to sign the Magna Carta. It was just a piece of parchment, but it said something new. No one, not even a king, is above the law. From that moment on, Europe's history became a slow but unstoppable story of limits placed on power and rights demanded by those who live under it, from monarchs to ministers, from palaces to parliaments. Authority was slowly forced to explain itself. Now that story has reached Brussels. For decades, the European Union was ruled quietly, through treaties and technocrats, through procedures designed to avoid conflict. The European Parliament was meant to advise, to comment, to legitimize decisions made elsewhere. But something has changed. Today, Europe's only directly elected institution is no longer satisfied with applause. The Parliament wants power. It wants a real say in where Europe's money goes, in what values define the Union, and in how crises are managed. And it has found the leverage to get it. Under the treaties, the Parliament must give its consent to the EU's 7-year budget, the multi-annual financial framework. It cannot rewrite the whole document, but it can block it. That single word, consent, has become the Parliament's new weapon. In the last round of budget talks, Ursula von der Leyen faced a Parliament ready to use that weapon. Lawmakers demanded more control over how agricultural funds are distributed, more power for regions, and a say in how the Union raises its own money through new taxes. To prevent a revolt, von der Leyen gave in. She accepted many of their terms, presenting it as compromise. But in truth, she had no choice. The Parliament had found her weak point. Von der Leyen governs a divided Europe, a fragmented Parliament, an impatient Council, and a fragile coalition holding the centre together. The far right is stronger. The traditional parties are thinner. And the Commission, once seen as the engine of Europe, now survives by balancing forces it can no longer control. 3 times this year, MPs have tried to bring her down with no confidence motions. 3 times she survived. But each attempt left her a little weaker, and the Parliament a little bolder. That is how revolutions happen in Europe. Not with guns or flags, but with votes, amendments, and long nights of negotiation. What we are witnessing is a quiet transfer of power, from bureaucracy to democracy, from those who manage Europe to those who represent it. The Council still grumbles. Diplomats still insist that the Parliament should stay in its lane. But history is not listening. Just as in Rome, just as in medieval England, legitimacy is moving toward the people. Slowly, cautiously, but irreversibly. The Parliament's rise is not a rebellion against the Union, it is the Union's evolution. The moment it begins to act like the democracy it claims to be. There will be no declaration, no ceremony, no new treaty. But years from now, historians may look back at this quiet moment and say, this is when Europe changed, when its citizens, through their parliament, began to rule themselves. If you want to understand the deeper transformation of Europe, not just the news, but the meaning behind it, visit westernrelations.com, where we follow these shifts shaping the Western world. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with anyone who still believes Europe is ruled only by bureaucrats. Because that story is ending. A new one has already begun, quietly and in the people's name. Thank you for watching.